embodying the self that you really want to be in your life and living the life that you really want to live, that feels aligned with who you really are, and fully stepping into that energy and moving through the things that hold us back or the blocks that hold us back. So I guess for me, the way that I've found to do that is the universe, your life, is constantly giving you breadcrumbs. Like, we have these core wounds that we hold on to and these beliefs that are negative about ourselves that we hold on to, and they cause all these things, right? Because, if someone calls me stupid and I was criticized my whole life and everyone told me I was stupid growing up, then when someone calls me stupid, what's going to happen? It's going to, I'm triggered. Right? But if I don't believe that I'm stupid deep down, then someone calling me stupid doesn't really do anything, right? So the first step is really starting to identify all these things that you're not, that you still think you are, and working through the pain of those things to let them go, right? Because only in that will you truly start to see and understand what alignment actually is, right? Because you can't understand how to align with yourself if you don't know what the self is, if you don't feel that sense of self. Because most of us walk around thinking we're this person that is just an amalgamation of conditioning and false beliefs and pain and all these things. And if we can burn those things out, we can step more into who we really are. And I'm sure every single person watching this has some idea of what that aligned self looks like. When you imagine your dream life, what do you see? That is the person you're yearning to step into, right? But we have to do the real working through the pain of all the ways we've had to bend to feel acceptable. But those ways are inauthentic. And aligning, or seeing what you're aligning to, is important, right? And I think we come to this point when we do that work where there's a fork in the road, right? There's this whole universe of the self that's lived in trauma, the self that's comfortable, the self that's familiar, and the life that self has always lived, right? And as you start doing that work, this life starts to crumble as you start to embody this real you. Because this life was built on an inauthentic you. This was you not fully expressing yourself. This was you shrinking. And a life that reflects that. A life that's playing small for who you are. But as soon as you start coming over into this universe, this aligned universe where you are starting to attract everything you really want, you're starting to embody who you really are, and you start to understand what your life really is about to you. And you come to this point where you're stuck between these two universes, and there's so much in your body that just doesn't want to move out of this one into this one. Your brain is like, I'm ready, I want it, I see it, I know that it's good for me, I want it. But your body is afraid. And I've thought about this a lot, right? Because I feel like in my own life, I'm kind of in that. This past year has been like this transition for me, this big transition, right? And I've thought about this a lot. Like, what is it that really holds us back from doing that? And, while you can point to, okay, I maybe have residual unworthiness. Maybe I don't think I'm worthy of a successful life. Maybe I don't think I'm worthy of a better life, a healthier life, all these things. But the more I worked through that, it came to a point where I realized I was just afraid, right? And at first I thought, well, there's a lot of fear from, childhood trauma, or fear of being seen, or fear of being criticized, or not being enough, or putting myself out there, doing all I can and failing. But I realized it's more than that. It's actually simpler than that. Because those things are there, sure, but the thing that's really holding you back at the end of the day, at least for me, is the fear of just change, the fear of the unknown, the fear of giving up a whole comfortable, familiar lifestyle, right? You build this thing that feels like your cocoon of safety, especially when you've grown up in tumultuous environments, or you've had a a hard life emotionally in a lot of ways, you build this cocoon of like, this is safe for me. And stepping outside that cocoon feels terrifying, right? But if you want to live the life you want to live, if you want to be who you really are, if you want to attract all those things you see in your head when you dream, you have to take that leap eventually. And that's what we're here talking about, is how do I take that leap, right? I'm asking myself that question. How do I take that leap? For me, my example in my own life to kind of drive this home in a personal way is, I grew up with a lot of childhood trauma. I growing up into a teenager, was using a billion different outlets to try to feel better because I didn't understand how much I was holding on to, and going through, relationship after relationship, situation after situation, just looking for somebody to give me the love I never felt I had, right? And it came to this point, right, where I finally felt like, oh, I have this external anchor that I can hold on to for the rest of my life to feel like I'm enough, right? Which was a person. And then that person goes away in a pretty horrible fashion, right? In a fashion that says, I'm not worth anything, right? But what does that do? That forces me now to confront all of these things that I've been avoiding, to look deeper, to follow the crumbs, to see what it is that I actually am outside of other people. And that involves that process, right? And it comes to this point now where I spent a year working through those things, seeing myself deeply, accepting myself deeply, seeing all that pain, feeling it, being there for myself. And this universe is crumbling now. And I see it. I'm right there on the cusp of this one where I feel like I know myself. I respect myself. I actually accept myself. I feel good about myself. I feel more confident. I feel self-assured. I feel like I know where I'm going. Yet there's so many things about my lifestyle that I can't let go of this guy. Not that this guy's bad. I love him. I honor him. But it's hard to move out of the lifestyle of this, the thing that's kept me safe for so long. But in making these videos, right, and doing this work, it's not just about, I can see now it's not just about the people who's watching this video, who's resonating with it or not. It's also stepping into alignment is about taking action and just doing the creative action of this, what I'm doing right now, is aligning me with that self. But that other self that I'm attached to, doesn't want to be doing those things because it feels a little unsafe, right? I want to keep procrastinating or keep slacking or keep, staying up all night or things like that. But the more I can take aligned action, the more I can just do the creative act of doing this, the more I embody who I actually am. And everything in the universe and this whole life reflects that. And I've seen the vision. That's when everything that aligns with you can come. But if you're stuck over here, you're not taking action that aligns with this person that you really are, that you want to be, then there's a dissonance there. The universe around you is going to reflect the energy of you're still kind of stuck there, right? And I keep thinking, why is nothing happening? Why is nothing moving in my life? It's because I can see it, but I'm not aligning with it. So nothing's moving. But the second I start, literally one day that I start doing that and embody it and creatively act on that, everything changes. I can already feel just the universe open up. So this is a long way of saying that the life that you want is right around the corner if you are willing to step into it, to let go of what's comfortable and what's familiar and move through fear. Not that you have to get rid of the fear. I still have fear. I still feel those things. But it's about saying, you know what? I have to go into the unknown because this is who I want to be. And I want to align with who I am. And that is when your life changes. That's when the universe says, okay, you're stepping into it. Let's go. And gives you literally everything you are asking for. Gives you everything that aligns with who you are. But you have to be willing to do that whole process. Each step in that process that I just said is so important. And the first step is just looking within. That's always going to be a theme throughout all of these videos. That's really the message to the world coming through me is look within. It's not out there. It's in here. And it's possible for literally all of us. It is possible. So if you resonate with this, give it a like, give it a follow, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on TikTok. The links are, I mean, they're not links. The profiles are down in the description below. So I'll catch you in the next one. I'm going to do my signature exit. See you later.